This kid from Canada has come in and just lit up this program. This kid here has been good for 3 years. He's now a junior, averaging 25 points a game. Preseason National Player of the Year. Struggled a little bit down the stretch, maybe against Florida State, maybe trying to do too much, but I'm telling you, he is dynamite. This is going to be a ton of fun, Big D.
Keith Kimball is going to get us going. Terry Weimer and Paul Sells, the other officials. Purdue coming off that game against Florida State you were talking about. They were up 8 with 3.5 minutes to go. Didn't score again. The Seminoles winning 73-72. So you know the Boilermakers are coming in here looking to turn things around. The Wolverines control the opening tip.
You were here for the beatdown of North Carolina, Dan. And we're going to get it. I need some opinions from you about how good Michigan is.
Right.
Because nobody beats North Carolina like that. No. And nobody beats Villanova like they beat Villanova. Look at this.
There's Brosdakis. Look at the smile on his face. You'll watch this kid play with confidence and with emotion all day long. He's a right-handed guy who shoots left, laid it in with a right hand. They're basically ambidextrous around the rim.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Brian Carton. That's a great move.
Klein into Harms to knot it up at 2. Why does he remind? Found by Teske, off the miss by Harms. John Teske is a vastly improved player from where he was a year ago.
Well, you guys were talking about Teske's value, not only as a defender.
Look at the ball movement by the Wolverines. Jordan Poole knocks down the 3.
When I first saw him, I had to challenge him to become a better practice player, work on his shot. He did that, and we offered him.
And are they ever happy that they did it as Ryan Klein bangs down a 3 for Purdue. Brosdakis is from Oakville, Ontario, and Stauskas from nearby Mississauga, Ontario. And just like you said, you fell in love with Coach Beilein when your son Andrew came to play here. I asked Brosdakis yesterday, what's the biggest reason you came here? And he said Coach Beilein, and he's the same guy now as he was when he was recruiting me. And right now, Michigan, they just can't miss. As we mentioned, right-handed, but Brosdakis shoots the ball left-handed. Some pretty good guys that he grew up admiring. And plays, as you said, with just a toughness and an enthusiasm as Eastern posts up and quiets the crowd for a moment. 7-point lead Michigan. The Boilermakers 5-2. Their losses to Virginia Tech on a neutral court, and then a 1-point loss this week at Florida State. Michigan's won. Not only have they won every game, they've won every game by at least 17 points this year, including the aforementioned wins over Villanova and North Carolina.
I talked to Jay Wright briefly, and you know what Jay said? He goes, look, Michigan's great. We needed a little humble pie, though. You know, it's just hard coming back. You know, they had so much success last year, obviously, and you win, and great play by Klein. Purdue's not going anywhere and not going away in this game, by the way.
Eifert misses the layup. They get another chance and can't make it go down. Brosdakis. Yes.
He wants that money. You see, everything is, how many different, poses will we see? This one was the money.
That's a Conor McGregor thing. Yes. He and his dad are MMA guys. Listen, nobody's ever going to walk out of a gym and say, which one was Iggy?
We got to count him. How many different, gyrations? Yeah. We got the smile. There you go.
And the 3 will go down for Evan Boudreau, a transfer from Dartmouth. Average better than...
Is what ultimately is going to keep Carson Edwards from playing in the NBA. Mark my words. You got to be better than that.
Sasha Stefanovic into the game for Purdue. Redshirt freshman from Crown Point, Indiana. Oh, man. One that Jordan Poole will want back.
Sasha's dad and I grew up together. Played against each other.
Good play, right?
Yeah, really good.
Speaking of Illinois State, a little tip in there by Edwards, and finally, Purdue gets a bucket. It had been better than 5 minutes.
He went hard that time. He went hard, and next thing you know, what did he do? Nobody else jumped when he tipped it in. Carson Edwards cannot be lackadaisical on this team. He has to lead every possession with his toughness and hard play.
25 points per game coming in. Simpson gets to the bucket too easy, but another missed layup. Boudreau trying to back down Livers. Left hand, left it short. Let's see if Michigan can get one to go. They've missed their last 6 shots. Poole using the screen. Good screen up at the top of the key from Livers. Freed him up.
Boy, that's too easy. Just a little high ball screen. Painter going nuts over his shoulders and meet the ball handler.
Eastern up top right now for Purdue. Klein coming off a game where he hit 7 threes, and on cue he knocks one down.
That was hard. That was great defense because it made Klein lean back. He does it naturally. Tyler has the worst luck of any player in the NFL. Hurt again. A great tight end, all pro tight end. Grady's a great story. He's a fantastic kid. Bishop Dwenger High School.
Good ball movement again. Brooks is open for 3.
How about the pass fake by Simpson to Iggy?
Michigan is 8 for 12 from 3-point range. Eifert the kick. Klein is open in the corner, and he'll answer with a 3.
How about 2 plays by Eifert right there? Tip in, and then instead of taking a forced shot fakes, goes to the rim, and knew exactly where the best shooter was in the corner.
So Purdue starting to heat up offensively, but now trading buckets with Michigan as they try to narrow this deficit a little bit before halftime. Brosdakis, little push off, little step back. How about that?
Oh, behave. He's going to Canadian Michigan flag across the way. It's too much here. Too much Canada here.
No such thing. Boudreaux. Wow, what a rebound by Simpson. Matthews over the top to Teskey.
A little thing, Dan. The Michigan guys know off the high ball screen just how deep to take it before they throw it up to Teskey. You know what I mean? Just enough to draw his man on a bad step.
How many times did they run the pick and roll with success against Carolina on Wednesday?
It's just so hard to guard from this point.
Eifert is open. Too strong. Michigan doesn't like to play that fast, but when they get a chance to go in transition, they'll take it. When they don't, now they'll make you guard. Now they'll run their stuff. Matthews feeling it. Running down the miss. Oh, man, Brosdakis was wide open, and Simpson didn't give him the ball.
Couldn't get it. He wanted to. Hands were in the way, but he still could have got it to him. Maybe he's holding him up. Maybe it's the Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan freeze up.
Spinning, and the finger roll won't go down for Edwards. Man, everything but the finish. Don't have it, call a play, run some stuff. Passes off a foot out of bounds, and it'll be Michigan ball when we come back. Xavier Simpson is the head of the snake, the guy who makes them go, and sometimes the numbers don't reflect it, but man, is he valuable. Livers with an off-balance 3. Long rebound is corralled by Klein, and Purdue can hold for the last shot of the first half.
Xavier Simpson in every area has led this team. And like I said, when he was a freshman, you know, like most freshmen, didn't really know, didn't really want to hear it sometimes, but man, now look at that. Little strip from behind, and he should get a layup.
And it was Simpson who caused it, but he can't make the layup, and that'll be the end of the first half. Other than that, Simpson a little slow to get up. He'll get some help from 2 of his buddies, but what a great first 20 minutes for Michigan. Coming off a 17-point win over North Carolina.
John Beilein team, you got no chance of guarding off the ball.
Are good passers born or developed?
In this program, they're developed because John Beilein works at pivoting, jump stopping, passing, chest pass, bounce pass, you name it. He works on it.
Edwards drills a 3. Carson Edwards in the top 10 in the country in scoring, and number 2 in Power 5 conference players in scoring at 25 a game. Only Robert Franks of Washington State has a higher scoring average than Carson Edwards. Open is Teskey. They are encouraging him to take that shot. John Beilein will get upset with him if he does not take it.
He's taking them to the 2 to 1 for 10. But they have, as you said it the other night, they don't care.
Yep.
Shoot it.
Coach Beilein says he's a 50% three-point shooter in practice, and he's not just making that number up. The managers and so forth, they track that sort of thing. And at practice yesterday, when Teskey did not take an open three, Beilein stopped play and said, you better take it. And Matt Harm says, oh, yes, 7-footer. I'm 7'3", and I can knock down a three.
Let's just have a top-of-the-key, big guy shootout. They're laughing, too, at the top of the key just now.
Harms with his second three of the season as well. He's 2 for 5. And now Teskey scoring on the inside.
All right, Purdue has always been known for help side, always been known, play behind the post, don't give up angles. Again, I'm just giving you examples of what Matt Painter was talking about of his team being sloppy.
Harms the shovel pass to Edwards, helped by Teskey. Klein with a floater inside. About 3/4 of his field goal attempts are from beyond the arc, but he puts it on alls and 9 free throws in the game today. So look at the standings. And again, conference play started last night in the Big Ten. Michigan State beat Rutgers. Wisconsin with a nice road win at Iowa. Stefanovic, deep three.
Well, Sasha Stefanovic played for a great high school coach, Clint Swan. His dad was a draft choice back when the draft was 6 or 7 teams. Played at Illinois State 6 or 7 rounds. His dad and I grew up together. His dad, tough dude, Louis. And Sasha has a lot of his attributes. Can shoot it and is really tough.
Drafted by the Seattle Supersonics.
You know,
aren't around anymore, of course. Would love to see Seattle get a team back. KD played his first year in Seattle. Livers over the backcourt.
You know what? Purdue is playing harder. And they're keeping their guy in front, and they're getting through screens. And, Dan, they're not holding on to screens. Like they're avoiding them, stepping through them, as opposed to feeling the screen and then moving around. They're just blasting through. Pretty good by Purdue.
Stefanovic, the cutter. And the ball's out of bounds to Michigan. More college basketball coming your way. And it comes to you from Allen Fieldhouse in Lawrence, Kansas. The number 2 Jayhawks hosting Stanford. You can also watch it live on the ESPN app. Our buddies John Sharpie, Jay Billis standing by for the call of that game.
Our other buddy, Mike Swanson, he's got to be the stats guy there. When he showed his Super Bowl World Series ring as the head of communications for the Royals.
Did he let you try it on?
Yes, he did.
Nice.
I think that.
Just put it on your pinky.
Look at Purdue. See, stay in front.
Simpson cross court. Poole. And he traveled. He tried to keep the toe down, but he couldn't. So Michigan in a bit of an offensive rut right now.
Yeah, I look for Carson Edwards to get a touch here. Screen. He receives the screen. It's going up. Oh.
Simpson right there to meet him. Didn't give him any room. And a turnover.
What was that good by Simpson? Carson Edwards set a screen, then he received the screen, and Simpson was having none of it and got right underneath it.
I think when Edmonds got the ball and all of a sudden he could feel Simpson right on, was like, how did he get here so fast? Didn't give him any room.
I'll give you 2 negatives on Michigan. One of them is they haven't shot the ball great other than today in the last couple of days, right? I mean, they haven't been a great shooting team. The other is when you're in a dogfight and you've got to calm everything down on the road, who are you going to throw to inside? Yeah. Whoa! Wheeler's giving them some good minutes off the bench here in the second half, and it's down to 12. Boy, is he a good-looking player. Long, athletic, willing.
Wheeler 5 points, 5 rebounds here in the second half. Simpson driving on Eastern. As it knocked away, it stays with Michigan with 9 on the shot clock.
This is what I'm kind of talking about, Dan. Like, okay, think
Big Ten career high for John Teskey at 14 against Purdue in the Big Ten tournament in the championship game last year. Poole with a shot fake, and he buries it. Teskey ties a career high with 17. Now it's December 1st.
Yes.
And a lot of other teams can get there by February. That's not to say they're going to run the table or win the national championship or anything like that. But, boy, if you're John Beilein, you could not have drawn up a better first month of the season. And if you're Matt Painter, at least you're not – I mean, Aaron Wheeler's not in trouble on the way home, right? He's going to be fine. He's good. The other guys, maybe not so much, but Wheeler's given them a lot. Nice spark off the bench here in the second half.
Really nice spark, and he's guarded as well. I think he's been involved in why Purdue has played defense at a much higher level than earlier in the game.
Brosdakis baseline and a foul.
All right, I'll go back to this, Dan. Can this Michigan team play? Let me go through it. Auburn.
Yes. Can they play with them?
Yeah.
They can play with anybody.
All right, can they beat them? Would you take them on a neutral court?
Yes.
Gonzaga. I know, right?
Can we schedule that game? Can we make that happen?
Arizona.
Can we have like a secret scrimmage in Minneapolis or something?
Arizona.
Yes.
You've seen all these teams.
Yes.
You were in Maui.
Yes.
Duke.
That'd be a great game. That'd be such a good game.
That used to be a great series with Leitner and Hurley and those guys.
Big ovation for the 17 points, 8 rebounds for John Teske, including 2 threes. Klein.
That's a circle action they like. That's been good against them. There will be a guy that progresses. Maybe it's this kid here. I don't know. To help this Michigan team. A couple years ago it was Mo Wagner. Last year it was Teske. I mean, say what you want, but Teske kind of came out of nowhere last year and was terrific.
Now Poole gets a big ovation. He comes out. David DeJulius, another member of the freshman class, comes in. He's a Detroit kid. A year after, and you see this in a lot of programs. I don't want to say it doesn't happen in others, but kids get better when they play here from season to season. And guys like Johns and DeJulius, by the end of this year, next year, the year after, could be major players.
No question. I mean, there is a question, but I mean, they have done a great job here at Michigan of developing guys within the season, which is odd. You know, a lot of places don't. A lot of guys get it with 8. You know, the old John Wooden philosophy, I've got 8 guys, I'm not talking to the rest. That John Beilein style.
And more ovations as Charles Matthews and A.D. Brosdakis come out.
This Michigan team deserves to have a packed house every night.
Agreed.
If you can get 100 and whatever thousand to watch that football team, you got to be able to get 10 or 12 to watch basketball team.
Xavier Simpson, the last starter to come out of the game into the final minute. Three in and out for Eric Hunter Jr., freshman from Indy. And then Williams misses the follow slam. Hunter working hard. Johns brings it down. Michigan made 13 threes in this game in 25 attempts. And really were never threatened. Purdue got it down to 11 or 12 on a couple of occasions in the second half. Never got it down into single digits. Look at this.
I like it.
That was Luke Wilson. And he's calling for the ball about 35 feet. His buddy's driving backside. He's calling for the ball. He's standing on the M.
Good for him. Good for him.
Michigan remains undefeated. 76-57, the final. What a performance by the Wolverines. For Dan Dockich, Chris Budden, and our crew here in Ann Arbor, I'm Dan Schulman saying thanks for watching. Back to the studio.